What is up, YouTube world? I'm here with you with a gem today. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem, the definitive work on self-esteem by the leading pioneer in the field, Nathaniel Branden. If you ever struggled with self-motivation, self-confidence, self-esteem issues, maybe you didn't feel confident in most situations, I think I'm going to recommend this book for you. Instead of focusing on quick self-esteem hacks, Branden focuses on the act that daily actions actually motivate you through self-esteem. In this review, I'm going to cover what I did like, what I didn't like. I'm going to go over the 6 pillars. So if you are planning on reading this book, it's going to be a tiny bit of a spoiler because I'm going to go over the pillars at a high level, but I do suggest that you crack open this book and read it. The central idea of this book is that self-esteem isn't something that you're born with. It's something that you develop over time through actions. Branden suggests that self-esteem is something you develop through being able to handle life's challenges. It's something that you can grow over time, and it's okay if you don't have it now because it's something that you can develop through consistent positive action. According to the author, self-esteem isn't being arrogant. It's about taking accountability of your actions and being confident that you can handle life's issues as they arise. So the very heart of this book is called the 6 pillars, and I'm going to discuss at a high level the 6 pillars for you. I'm not going to go super in depth because I really want you to crack open this book and read it and see if it's for you, but I'm going to talk about the 6 pillars at a very high level. So pillar 1 is living consciously, and what this means is that you're not running away from things that you know you should be paying attention to. You're not running away from that bill that may be due. You're not running away from that issue that may be that needs to be tackled, or you're not running away from that tough conversation that may need to happen with your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, or your children. You're facing things head on in your life. And that's the first pillar, which is living consciously. Sorry about that. I was interrupted by a phone call. So the next pillar, pillar 2, is the one we want to discuss, which is called self-acceptance. And self-acceptance means not necessarily liking everything about yourself, because there's some things that we want to improve, whether that's, your follow through, going to the gym, your communication methods. There's always things about ourselves we can improve. This means acknowledging your thoughts, as they come from you and they are who you are. It's like not fighting your thoughts, so say. It's radically accepting who you are and not degrading or hating yourself. Basically, your self-talk is the most important talk that you have. So if you're speaking negatively of yourself, that's a big problem. That's going to affect your outcomes in life. Pillar 3, self-responsibility. So self-responsibility is about taking ownership of your decisions, basically focusing on what you can control and realizing that nobody's going to come to save you. You are absolutely 100% responsible of everything that happens to you that's within your control. There's some things that happen to you that are not within your control. But if you're doing everything you can within your control, you are responsible for the outcome, both positive and negative. So self-responsibility is the 3rd pillar here. The 4th pillar, which is really important, is being self-assertive. Basically, it's being able to take your thoughts, what's going on in your head, your ideas, your wants, your needs, and being able to respectfully put those out into the world. A lot of people, from what I'm learning, have an issue either through what happened to them in childhood where they weren't able to be as assertive as they needed to be. So when they become adults, they have a hard time asserting their needs and into the marketplace, into their jobs, into their relationships, respectfully. Some people like to keep those in. So I think pillar 4 is really great. It's teaching you how to be more assertive in your thoughts. Pillar 5 is living purposefully. It's setting goals and taking action towards those goals. Sometimes I personally feel like a ship without a rudder, whether it's like depression or something that you're going through. Sometimes, most days, I'm really goal oriented, but some days I just feel kind of listless. So this talks about setting goals every day and doing your best to try to achieve small measurable goals, like making this video. Pillar 6 is personal integrity. It's basically living up to your values. It's being honest, whether it's good or bad. Integrity may be something that some people have issues to, develop depending on how they were raised. They might have lived in a house that didn't have a high level of integrity. Maybe they were taught to lie. There's no judgment there, but as you can understand, having low integrity as an adult can damage your reputation and have a lot of negative outcomes in the marketplace. And when I say the marketplace, I mean the job marketplace or your business. If you have your own business, having high integrity is extremely important. And that's the sixth pillar of personal integrity. And that's the sixth pillar of this book. What I like most about this book is that it treats self-esteem as a skill set, not a personality trait. So basically, it looks at it as something that you can develop and grow. The book emphasizes personal responsibility without sounding too preachy, which is great, but it just makes it understood that you are responsible for everything in your life. Another strength is that Branden kind of relies on these sentence completion trees in the book. I'll let you understand that when you get it, but it's basically completing a sentence over and over again. And I did it like maybe the first 5-10 of them, and they do seem kind of repetitive, which is going to lead into what I don't like about the book. What I didn't like about the book is that the book seems kind of repetitive. It kind of seems academic. The book was written a long time ago. I don't have a date on this, but you can probably look it up. But the language in the book doesn't read as fluid as maybe a newer self-help book because it was written in sort of a different time. Some readers also like myself, may find the activities, the sentence stems, to be repetitive and drawn out. Like I was doing a lot of the sentence stems and they did seem somewhat repetitive and kind of drawn out after a while. Like, oh, I got to do this again. It seemed like a little heavier than I wanted it to be. My overall rating for this book is about maybe a 7 out of 10. If you're looking to understand self-esteem and self-confidence and the 6 pillars interest you and you want to build your self-esteem from the ground level up, you realize that you may have some deficiencies there, then this book is going to be for you. It's a book that you want on your shelf. I've read this book from cover to cover. If you want to read this book, or you plan on reading this book, or you have read this book, please leave your thoughts in the comments. Please like this video so we can grow together. If you're interested in more book reviews on self-help, finance, different things like that, please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Peace.